What is up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. So today's video on our Q&A series is a little different. Sarah is going to be asking me questions, but not questions that you guys sent in. These are questions about me getting into my investing journey. So I am in the process of purchasing a home with my husband in Michigan that will eventually be a short-term rental. So Sarah's gonna ask me questions about that, and hopefully it helps some of you who are just beginning your process. So if you have not already, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot, and let's get into it. One, I'm just really excited to like finally have a property. I feel like I've been in this world for 2 years now, and I felt so involved in it, but I never actually had my own property. So that's really exciting to be able to experience it myself for the first time. But I think the process of going through like actually getting it ready is the thing that excites me the most, because that was so fun for us at the beginning. And we were doing it on a small scale in apartments, and doing it for a full home I know is going to be extremely stressful for me specifically, just because I stress out really easily. But I think it's going to be really fun to see like the before and afters, because that was always our favorite part when we were doing it for other people. And now I get to do it for myself, and I get to pick everything, and I get to put it together, and I get to live in it while I'm doing that. And then once it's listed, I get to start seeing people enjoy the space that I spent so much time curating and loving so much. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I mean, it's not that anything's really that difficult. It's that there's a lot to do. So like once we found the house, we kind of found it on a whim. My husband, Tyler, was just looking through Zillow and it popped up and he sent it to me, and we had seen like 10 houses at this point. I called Matt, our realtor, and we set up a tour and go and look at it, and then we start the paperwork process, and there's just so much paperwork. I knew it was gonna be a lot. I did not know it was gonna be this extent of paperwork, and I'm getting stuff every single day. And I have the added stress of my husband is in Thailand, so I'm literally doing all of the paperwork and all of the things completely by myself because he's on a completely different time zone. I have a new puppy, so I'm trying to do that. I'm also still trying to work every day and just keep track of all of these things. So it's all piling up. So I wouldn't say any of it's really that hard. Like I genuinely think anybody can do it, but there's just a lot that you have to do at the beginning. And I know that this is just the start, because the second that we close, I'm calling a contractor to get new flooring put in. So like that starts a whole new level of a lot of things that have to get done before we're even in the house. But yeah, so it's more my stress levels that's hard than anything else. Well, I have anxiety every day of my life. That is just something that I live with. I think because I'm not a risk taker. I am such an analyzer anyways. There is a major risk that I list this thing on Airbnb and nothing happens. And that's a reality of the situation, and it's something that I've come to terms with, but it does cause me a lot of anxiety because it's such a big thing that we're putting our hearts and our money into. And let's be real, I don't want to live in Alpena for the rest of forever. So like if this doesn't work and I have to live in this home for however long, then that's just what happens. We turn it into a long-term rental. We're making updates on it, so maybe we sell it and it's just a flip. There are options if these things don't work out. So that's why like the logical and the analytical part of me is like, Emily, it's fine. But there is anxiety in taking a risk like this. Like it's not an apartment that I'm only having for a year. It's not like a car or anything like that. This is a home, like an entire home that we are purchasing. So I think that's a standard anxiety that everybody has when purchasing a home, whether it be for short-term rentals or not. When you buy a home, it's a big purchase. That's a big deal. So standard anxieties, I feel like I just amplify them because that's who I am. This is hard because I want it to be designed a specific way, but I want to design it like my home. I'm literally running through the process of like what we always tell every other investor not to do. I'm like, Emily, don't do what you tell people not to do. Like, don't design it the way you want your home designed. So I came up with 3 mood boards because that's what we do. I essentially treated myself like a client, but I get to have fun creatively because it's from my own property. So I came up with 3, and I've been sending them to people, and I'll put it on TikToks and YouTube, so you guys can help me decide as well. And I genuinely like all 3 of the designs, but the house itself has a specific vibe to it, so I couldn't go too far outside of that. There's just like standard things when you're designing that you have to stay in a certain box anyways, based on the home and the location and stuff like that. So I think the design, all 3 of the design directions that I came up with are good It's just a matter of the one that I end up going with. And I'm kind of leaning towards combining 2 of them, which is what I think every single client we had ended up combining at least 2 of our design styles. So I think it's gonna be really cozy and cottagey. And I mean, it's on a channel, there's big windows. In the winter, I think it'll feel really nice and cozy, and then it'll still be fun in the summer too. So yeah, that's kind of where design direction is going. I literally am being the exact person who we tell our clients not to be. And so I had to like push past that. What is it? Do what I say, not what I do. Yeah. Do what I say, not what I do, people. Well, it wasn't even in the realm of where we were looking, because for anybody who doesn't know, my husband travels for work. And so he had a rule when we were looking for a house, because we're gonna be living in it for 6 to 8 months, that we needed to be within like an hour of an airport, whether it be Grand Rapids or Detroit, or within like 3 hours of Chicago. So we were looking kind of like on opposite sides of the state, but in lower Michigan. And we just weren't finding anything that like really spoke to us. Like the second we walked in, we were like, oh my gosh, this is the house. We did find one that I really liked that he wasn't the biggest fan of, so we decided not to go with it. And so he was just looking on Zillow, and he just expanded the range to all of Michigan. And don't tell anybody from Alpena this, I'd never heard of Alpena before this house came up. And he sent me the link, and the first photo of the listing is not the best photo, but if you scroll through these photos, you get to the back of the house, or I guess like you would consider it the front yard because it's like towards the channel. But there are these massive windows, and instantly I was like, done. That's like the windows. I didn't even need to look at anything else in the house. I knew that whatever photo I took with those windows in it was going to be stunning. And so I scrolled through the rest of the house, and it's all nice. It needs new flooring, it needs paint, but other than that, the house itself is a great house. So that was just a bonus, if I'm being honest. I was already sold on the house when I saw the windows. And then I started doing research on Alpena, and there's like tons of stuff to do up there. Like they have ice fishing, snowmobiling trails, there's a national park, there's a dark sky park. In the summer, they have like clear bottom boat tours because there's shipwrecks in Lake Huron. There's a bay that we're on the channel to go into the bay that has like multiple parks on it and beaches to be in the bay. So there's just a ton of stuff to do in Alpena. And we started telling like our friends about it. And Tyler has friends whose families go there all the time, that I had just like, I had never experienced it because I'm from the west side and it's northeast. But so there were a lot of factors, but I essentially decided on the home before I looked into anything else. So we are getting a conventional loan. So we are putting 3% down. So I think with that and our closing costs, that's like estimated to be around $17,000 some odd dollars. And then I'm thinking, and this is just an estimation based off of the square footage, around $40,000 we'll put into it. We have existing furniture that we're going to be using that's ours in the space that we use to furnish the place where we're living now, and we've lived here for less than a year, and we bought it after we moved in here, so it's still really good furniture. So I didn't factor in using any of that, so I might just be able to either add extra, or I'll just be lower than the budget that I gave. So around 57, I'm hoping, if we don't run into any issues or I don't go crazy and decide to do some crazy renovation thing that we don't necessarily need but I want in the house. But there's also things that like, so it comes with a hot tub, which is really nice, but it's only a 4-person hot tub and we're gonna sleep 8, so we're hoping to sell that and then buy a new one, so we won't have to like hopefully pay for the full cost of a hot tub. We have to get a washer and dryer for it, and then we're getting like amenities things as well, so the cost could fluctuate a little bit based off of those things, but I'm thinking hopefully around, I'll cap it at 60 and then we'll see. The comps on AirDNA, so AirDNA I think projected it at like 57 for sleeping 8 people, which, pro tip, if you put your property into AirDNA, make sure you look at how many bedrooms it says that the listing has and how many people it sleeps, because it pulled up this property as a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, sleeping 4 people, and so it did not project it correctly, so I turned it into a 3-bedroom, sleeping 8 people, and it significantly increase the projections based on the comps. So like make sure that you make those adjustments when you're in there for anybody who's like brand new to AirDNA. But funny enough, Sarah was running the comps on this property as well, and she was having trouble finding the correct address. Like there's 2 roads and they're all named like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the one that ours is on did not pull up. So she did the next road over and it pulled up a completely different comp that's still like close to mine, but it didn't pull up when I looked up mine, which was a better comp to run against because it's on a bay, it sleeps the same number, or I think it sleeps 2 more people, but and it's not well designed. So like I was better running against that one than there were like properties that weren't on the water and they slept less people, or it was like a single bedroom that wasn't actually like the whole home being rented out. So running the comps was really hard against those. But that one property that was also on a bay that slept 2 more people ran at $89K a year, I believe is what it said that it was making. And so after doing like research and being conservative, just because I would much rather be conservative and still have a profit than like say that I'm automatically going to be making what the competition is, even though they don't have a hot tub either, I conservatively said 65K a year, which I think, yeah, we just did it. It's like a 43% cash on cash. Not too shabby if I'm running the numbers conservatively and I'm still hitting a 43% cash on cash. So that is what I also did. Rabu. Like I personally like Rabu better. I think the comps that they pull on Rabu are better. So I pulled some from those as well, and I didn't just use the AirDNA data when I was running these. So yeah. Yes. One, it's fine to get into the space before you start investing. That's what I did. Like I said, I've been in this industry for 2 years now. And to some people that might seem ridiculous that I was in this space for 2 years before actually investing into it. But for me, being a risk averse person, learning so much about it and building a community and watching other people go through the experience gave me the confidence to take the steps to actually do it. And so if that's something that you can financially do, like figure out a niche that you can go into in this space before you invest your own money into it, I say do that. I think it's fine. I don't think I have had some people ask me like, how are you working in this space and you're not investing? Isn't that embarrassing? And I'm like, no, I'm learning so much before I'm actually putting my own money into it. And then just do your research. Honestly, like I did a ton of research and I still feel a little bit of anxiety about it. So there's always going to be that aspect of having anxiety. I don't think that's ever going to go away when you're making such a large purchase. So you have to push past that. After doing all of your research, after learning so much about the industry, eventually you have to take the step off the ledge and just jump. So that's what I'm doing. And if I could do it, I swear to you, you can do it. I think our strategies differ because one, I think you want to and have a passion to take on more properties and build a lot with other people. I personally am for the slow growth game. I'm fine with just having a couple properties and getting them up and running slowly. And if a partnership comes along and it feels like it fits, that's absolutely fine. I'm open to that. But I don't have a desire to, essentially my goal is to not build an Airbnb empire on my own. I want properties that are making me financially free or time free, really. I would much rather have the time freedom. And then my ultimate goal is to have my own clothing company. So once I can have enough properties that financially I can then go and do something that I've been passionate about forever, I still will keep these properties up and running. I still will be a part of Carwells. I'm still going to be in the industry. I will just be, it will have led me to be able to afford to do the thing that I've always wanted to do. And I think that your goal, or Sarah's goal for anybody watching this, is to always be in the short-term rental game. Whether you stop doing your own investing because you feel like you have enough properties and you just start helping other people build theirs, or you partner with other people on building with partnerships that you're a part of, I think that you plan to always be building properties, and that's not my ultimate goal. Okay, that is it for all of Sarah's questions for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video or want to hear more about both of our short-term rental journeys in Q&As, please comment below and let us know. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Bye.